Chris, you've been here all week, but welcome to Bristol Rovers. And a club you obviously know well, I would think, for giving your games against us as a player and a manager.
Yeah, no, I do. I always enjoyed both as a player and a mate. It's a great atmosphere, isn't it? Always a great atmosphere, great fans. And so delighted to be working with Darryl and with the club. Obviously worked last year as well as a scout, which was enjoyable because you feel part of it when the club gets success.
And you know Darryl quite well through media work,
I do.
I guess, as much
yes,
as anything.
yeah, met Darryl through BT, but obviously had conversations with him when we played against each other in the midst of some pretty tense games. But great fella, done incredible things for the club, and a really good guy as well, which is a good combo.
You must share a similar footballing philosophy, I guess. You've spoken about the game a lot, I guess.
Well, we're very honest, that's for sure, and I think together with Marcus, I know Marcus well. We do. We want the game played in the right way, but you want to be successful. And I know what he's been through because I've been a manager, so I know the stress he's under and the pressures and the enjoyment of when things go well. And he deserves it because the work he's put in has been, pretty thorough.
Coming as under 21 coach, to me that's quite a broad spectrum, if you like, because you've not only got the first team under 21s or young pros, you've got the academy players as well.
You have.
Fair
Definitely, yeah. You've got academy players that we see as the future of the club, and hopefully players that will one day grace the field. Then you've got, on occasions, lads who are not in the team at the moment who need a little bit more training, perhaps. So it's a real mix. But I think for those younger boys, training with the more experienced players, it brings them on. It brings them on that intensity of play, the desire, the game understanding. So I think having that mixed group is really good.
So how do you know how your job is going to pan out? It's early days yet, I guess. You're going to be a bridge, I guess, between the academy and
exactly. I'm a bridge between that, and I'm trying to develop players and create a 21s squad. Fingers crossed, local lads that are going to, one day be successful in the first team, because that's what we all want our clubs to have, don't we? It's not always possible because clubs' progression, and this one has been so quick, that sometimes it's harder. Well, it is harder each level to get in that first team. But my aim would be to do that, to try and get players through, as well as be there for whatever's needed with the manager and the staff.
It's very difficult for young players, isn't it? These days, with a lack of, there are reserve games this year, but really there has been a lack of competitive football.
Definitely, it is hard. So whether they go on loan or whether they have more hours with the ball in afternoon sessions, a combination of those two things will hopefully get them closer to being looked at for selection. And it is the forgotten group. That's why 21 squads were invented. That was the thought process behind it. And they're much maligned now because of the non-competitiveness. But with the reserve league, I think that helps. And also with the combination of trying to get them on loan if the club's right, as well as the manager seeing them. So it is a bit of a hybrid role, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I guess there's a way of assisting the manager. The manager's under immense pressure, results-driven business, and obviously concentrating on the first team. So you're his eyes and ears for the rest of us.
Yeah, my everything revolves around that. If everything at the football club depends on results on that first team pitch, and he knows that better than anyone. And the success, as I say, that he's given to the club has been fantastic. But we have to work everything else around that, knowing that the most important thing is preparing those 11 lads and substitutes for a Saturday or Tuesday game. That's the most important thing. Whatever else goes around that, we try and facilitate and help him. And that's, I suppose, where I come into it. I've been in the manager's shoes under pressure, and so I hope that I can add some value and help. But he's got some brilliant people with him, and if I can add anything to it, I'd be delighted.
I think he's actually built a very strong managerial team at the moment, but medical team as well.
Absolutely.
So, and that was crucial, I think, for the club to progress.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. And who expected 2 promotions in 2 seasons? It's happened so quickly that with that becomes a fiercer competition for places. More often than not, bigger squads. More, it's difficult, isn't it, for players because the standards going up. So he has to manage all of that, and he's really good at doing that. And my job is to try and help those lads that maybe are falling a little bit short, and try and get them closer to the team.
First impressions, you've had a week on the training ground. So
love it.
Yeah.
It's almost like dropping to your knees and kissing the grass, because that's what it is. You want to be on the grass every day. And I say to myself, I took a sabbatical out of football to learn a bit more about the game and about people and myself, because of my experiences as a manager at Torquay. You know, I went from first team coach at Bournemouth. I worked for 8 years as a coach to be that level. Suddenly you're out of a job, and that can happen in football.
Yeah.
And so it makes you stronger and teaches you things that hopefully will keep you in good stead. But as far as joining a club that's going places, I don't think they could be much better in the country at the moment. And you know, seeing the atmosphere at a first team game the other night, it was great. It was great, and then they want more, the fans, because of what they've had.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to give them that, because it's hard, isn't it? You keep going up, and the levels of League One clubs now are high. You know, played Walsall the other day, and albeit the league position may be low, there's some highly technical players in that team. They nearly made the championship, didn't they, last season?
I think you're yet to see a bad team.
No, well,
there isn't one.
No, so the standard is really high, and it's about the club getting used to the level, knowing where they're at, and then trying to do it again.
Is that even more pressure for younger players trying to break through?
Well, it is, and I experienced that at Bournemouth because we got promoted to the Championship. Suddenly it's harder. Now the Premiership, it's really, really hard for young local lads to be able to break through, but it's not impossible, and that's where I come in. Hopefully, I can pass on some experience and give them some knowledge to help them get closer to be available for the manager. So
you're going to be taking the reserve team, under 21 team, if you like, in the new league, are you?
Yeah. Take those lads, and you know, if I'm needed to take lads who are out the squad or out the team that need more hours on the ball, then I'm there for them. I've been in that situation. I know what it's like. We all have, you know, in and out the team. So it's giving them an understanding of what they need to be on the first team pitch, as well as what they need as well. What do they think they need? A bit more to get in the team.
And what about the ones coming up behind, the academy? Will you do any sessions with them?
Yeah, I'd like them to join me each week for at least a session, so that you get an understanding of those. Perhaps you've got to be careful you don't bring them up too young. You know, Ethan Ampadu at Exeter is probably an exception to the rule, but within reason, I'd like to see those younger boys, because we can maybe give decisions and progress, you know, boys quicker. Not in contract wise, but in training with first team players to see how they cope.
And you've got a son yourself in there.
I have, yes, yeah. I had a whisper at Exeter, but yeah, I have. And he played last week. My first sort of view of some of the boys was at the 21s game, and he was there, so it was a bit surreal, really. But I try and give him advice as a dad. You can't get too involved. You know, Desi Little's lad's here, isn't he? And you know, Des doesn't really get involved because he leaves it to the coaches. So I do the same at Exeter. Is a good football club for nurturing young players, and as long as he doesn't give his mother any cheek, he's fine. He's allowed his dinner at night. But I know how hard it's for him.